Hi, I'm Bill Bradley. Join me for a recent excerpt of American Voices. For SiriusXM, I'm Bill Bradley, and this is American Voices. Today we have a special presentation for you. Hyacinth Tucker is an Army veteran who started the Laundry Basket.
We went to a shelter, delivering the clothes, and the little girl said to me, "Is this what clean smells like?"
Here we are at the shelter, and these families have been through a lot.
Having clean clothes for my children mean a lot to me.
What an act of kindness.
Who wants to come to school and get bullied over how you smell?
I mean, it's a tremendous service, and also for having what is clearly an irrepressible spirit that brings joy wherever you end up.
I am an immigrant from Jamaica. So the big glasses, the hair that was just kind of doing its own thing, definitely a deep accent. And I remember my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Dixon, she came over to me and she was like, "Don't cry, it's gonna be okay." And so she really taught me about the act of service and just how one kind deed, what it can do for a person. And I'll never forget that.
Making sure people have clean clothes.
Everyone deserves the dignity and the right to feel and look good and to smell good.
It's coming up right now. I'm Bill Bradley. You're listening to American Voices on SiriusXM.
American Voices with Senator Bill Bradley is made possible by Ford, part of the American story for 121 years. Built Ford proud.
I'm Bill Bradley. Stay with us.
Here we are at the shelter, and these families have been through a lot. One thing that we know that we can give them is some fresh, clean clothes that can help restore dignity and normalcy to their lives.
Having clean clothes means I can focus on finding a job and getting back on my feet. It helps me to focus, and I feel better about myself.
That's why we partner with shelters, because laundry can be a bridge from being in crisis to feeling stable.
Having clean clothes for my children mean a lot to me. You have no idea how much this means to me.
And this is why we do what we do, because we know that fresh, clean laundry can mean the world to some people.
It helps me because my clean clothes, when I get clean clothes, I just feel better about myself. I feel clean, and I know that me being clean and I go out there feeling clean, I can get that job or do what I need to do. Thank you so much, Laundry Basket.
What an act of kindness. After Hyacinth Tucker left the military, she started the Laundry Basket. They pick up your laundry, clean it, deliver it back to you. And they do this for individuals, but their clients also include places like hospitals, companies, government agencies. The Laundry Basket also gives back to the community. They wash clothes for free that people donate to shelters, ensuring that people in shelters get clean clothes. They also make sure that kids in school who are homeless go to school with clean clothes. The children bring their clothes to school, and the Laundry Basket picks up the load and delivers it freshly laundered. I'm very glad that Hyacinth Tucker is here with me now. Hyacinth, welcome to American Voices.
Thank you so much. It's such a pleasure to be here, Senator Bradley.
I mean, Hyacinth, it's just beautiful. Who in your life inspired you and showed you kindness?
Oh, gosh. I have to tell you about my fifth grade teacher. So I am an immigrant from Jamaica. So I came over here when I was young. And, I had all the things. It was the big glasses and the accent. The hair that was just kind of doing its own thing, a little bit of acne there, definitely a deep accent. And I went from Jamaica to Brooklyn. So it wasn't the kindest place, let's just say that.
Mm-hmm.
So, definitely I experienced bullying, and I experienced those things as well as a child. And I remember there were these kids and they would always take my glasses and throw them and, play catch with them. And I just would just sit there like, what could I do? First of all, I couldn't really see. But second of all, it was just so embarrassing. And I remember that during this one day, this play that they would do with my glasses, it broke. And so now I just like bust out into tears because now I'm just like, oh my gosh, like I can't see. My glasses are broken. It was so embarrassing. And I remember like my fifth grade teacher, Mrs. Dixon, and she came over to me and she was like, don't cry. It's going to be okay. And she took that tape, and she taped these glasses up and she just made me feel so much better. Like she held my head in her arms and just was like, you know what? It's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And like, ever since that time, I was like, okay, this is like I knew I could always go to her. I knew like if I ever needed to talk about anything, if I was just having a bad day, like that was the one person. So she really taught me about the act of service and just how like one kind deed, what it can do for a person. And I'll never forget that.
Hmm. So when you first came to the U.S. from Jamaica, you
Mhm.
were a child, and
Yes.
what kind of things did you find difficult to adjust to at first?
Well, I would say the first thing is snow. Now, my
Snow.
mom decide yes. Now, why did my mom decide to leave in, like, December? It was in December or January, and I had never seen it before, so I'm just like, "Oh my gosh, this is so cool, like, this is amazing. Like, what is this thing coming from this?" It was so, like, crazy to me, like, how does this thing just fall from the sky like this? I'm young, so, bear with me. And then now, of course, I'm going to New York, so now I'm like, "Okay, now I'm a pro with snow. I'm a pro now." Like, I have those stories of just like, I walked 2 miles to school, in snow. So, those type my kids hate it, I know. But, yeah, so that was like one of the things is just like from a culture shift, right? You're coming from an island where, as we say, everything is airy, and it's just this laid back, atmosphere of sun and sand and just, good times. And then you come to like the inner city of like Brooklyn. And it's
Mm,
like, oh, okay, this is definitely different. So just definitely a big culture shock for me. But my mom always let me know like this was like the land of opportunity. Like we came here, we're gonna make the best of it. Like I was a latchkey kid, and a lot of people may not know what that is that are they're older. But my mom, when she came here, she found a job, and the job was overnight. So I literally was like, I had to be at
is that
home.
right?
Yeah, I came
So you
home.
were home alone.
I was home alone. I was home alone. And so that was a transition for me. I came from a big family in Jamaica into like just being, and not like, lately. But the point is that when I came home from school, she wasn't there, let's just say. So, definitely didn't go to bed with it like that. But, this is the point of just like it taught me independence. At a young
Mm-hmm.
age, I had to cook for
Yeah.
myself. I had to, make sure I didn't have any like younger siblings. It was just me. So I had a great childhood, besides the teasing and the bullying. I have to be honest
Well,
with
so you were in the military. What made you
Yes.
enlist?
So I worked at an agency that worked with individuals with disabilities. And at the bottom of the building was a recruitment center. And so they would always, stand outside and, just say hi and that type of thing. And at one point, I guess it was someone new, and it was a guy, and he was a really attractive guy, and he was like, "Hey, how you doing?" And we just started talking, and he was like, "Won't you come on in and we could talk more?" And I'm like, "Sure, I have a few minutes to spare." Maybe I probably didn't, but that's not the point. So I went in and he just, gave me the spiel and sold me on it. And I said, okay, I'll just try it out. I'll just go and, take the test. I'll do that. But of course, once that gets going, then you're already in it now. So that is how I got started.
And why did you enlist?
I enlisted definitely was just for an opportunity. It was definitely for something, something bigger than myself. And so
Mm-hmm.
at that
Mm-hmm.
time, I was like, you know what, I definitely want to do something. I've always been about service. So my whole life has been about doing things to like serve others. At one point, I wanted to
Mm-hmm.
be a social worker, but life went into a different direction. So service is really important to me, and that's why I make sure we still do that here at the Laundry Basket.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. But after you left the military, what kind of jobs did you have?
So in the military, I was an operating specialist. So everything you would see like on MASH, handing items to the surgeon. And so it was a lot of standing on my feet. So I knew I didn't want to continue doing that after I left. So I got into like different careers. I went back to doing things in social services, and then I went into insurance. So I started a career in insurance, and then I went into events, and then here I am now at the laundry basket.
So how'd you get the idea to start the laundry basket?
So I went to go visit a friend. And so this was in July of 2022. And I'm standing in her living room and there are clothes everywhere. And I mean literally like everywhere. And we're joking and laughing and that type of thing. But she was like, I'm so stressed. I'm so frustrated. Like I'm working all day and then I come home and then there's laundry that has to be done and I just never could get to it. And I just, it's just overwhelming. And of course, I really don't like doing laundry anyway. So I was like, yeah, but you got to do it. And, we just had that conversation. But then I noticed that she was buying new clothes instead of washing the clothes that she had. So that's a different level of I don't like
Mm.
laundry, right? Because we're not talking about just like a pair of underwear. We're talking about full outfits. So she looked at me and she said, I really wish there was someone that could come and take all these clothes and wash them for me and I would pay for it. And I said, okay, well, I'll help you out. And it literally started from there. And I had no idea that, 3 years later, I would be the laundry lady doing laundry for people.
But it's difficult to start a business. So at
Yeah.
what point did you see that your idea of being the lady that comes to pick up the laundry would work and that it would be a viable business?
Yeah, I didn't, of course, just starting out, I didn't think that as well. I thought I was just helping her. But I went to a meeting. It was like a meeting of moms, and we're just talking, about life and of course kids. And I just happened to say, yeah, I'm helping out a friend and doing some laundry. And they were like, oh my gosh, like you're doing laundry? Like, can you help me? And I was like, wait a minute. Now, this is just, I didn't say I was, I wanted to do all that. But I said simply, so I had like a little notebook paper, and I said, okay, well, if you need some help, just, this piece of paper, just put your name, put your phone number, I'll reach out to you, blah, 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 blah. And then we just finished on with our meeting. But I'm telling you, by the end of that meeting, that paper was filled both sides with names and numbers of individuals who wanted my help. And at that point, I was like, okay, wait a minute. This could really
Yeah, a
be
little
something.
demand there, huh?
Yeah, little demand. And, I didn't have like pricing or anything like that, nothing fancy, no business card, no website. It was just individuals who were like, I'm sick and tired of it. And if you're going to do it for me, I'll pay you to do it. And that's how it started.
So you start the business. Now, what challenges do you have and how'd you overcome them?
Right. So the first challenge, of course, is I don't know that I'm like, I don't know how you even make this into a business. Like, what kind of business is this? This isn't like it wasn't a business where like I had people that I can call and say, hey, how do you do this? So it was a lot of trial and error, for the beginning part of it. It was just me
Mhm.
trying to figure it out, like just what made sense. Right. So it was like me actually talking to people. And I think that is what has led to the success that we've had is because I took the time to really talk to my customers and really find out what it is they really needed and wanted. Another challenge was, it was overcoming the challenge of people trusting me, right? This is a business that we've created with like a know, like, and trust factor, right? So that's why like my face is on everything, my name is on everything. It's not just a brand that you just kind of like, it's just faceless. So because I'm handling people's personal items, I'm handling things that are heirlooms, things that have been passed down. I'm handling stuff that are like pricey, just something that's really special to
Sure.
people. So, you have to like, have some type of like trust, like that you're giving it to, someone that you can trust is going to take care of it and bring it back just the way they got it or even better, right? So those were challenges as well. And then of course funding. I started this business and at some point, I couldn't just be me anymore, so we had to hire staff. We had, it has expenses associated with it. So how do you get like that funding that you need when you're just starting out?
So is it true that customers invite you to their family celebrations? I mean, birthday parties, even a wedding?
It is true. Well, first of all, as you can tell, I'm just, really lovely, right? But
Of
besides that,
course.
Well, thank you. But besides that, like our team, it is really a culture that we create of not just being a laundry service. And I think that's what's important. So we really care about our clients. They trust us and we're at their home. They see us on a regular basis. Some of our clients, they see us more than they see their family members,
Hmm.
their kids. So, like we're like part of the family. So it's nothing for them to have a conversation with us to be like, yeah, this weekend, I'm going out of town, or this weekend, this is, we're doing this, or if you're not busy, we're having something in the backyard, won't you come on by? So we have actually, like, it's really like a family. This is like my family, and they treat us as such. Now, granted, me, Hyacinth, the CEO, I'm not as face forward as I was at the beginning, but we've had relationships for people for like 3 years since we started. Like,
Hmm.
we've been a constant in their life.
And how do you cultivate those relationships?
So we cultivate them by offering really convenient services and we communicate. And that's one thing well, no, two
Hmm.
things that people really enjoy about us. It is like they know that if you call, you're going to get someone. So we're not that business. It's like, okay, we'll send us an email and somebody will get back to you in 48 hours. No, you're going to reach someone. And if you need to reach me, you're going to get me. And we're going to treat you with dignity and respect. We're going to be very responsive, and if there's ever an issue, we're going to make sure that we resolve it. Like that is just how we just operate, as a business. We value you as a customer, and our review says say it all. Like, we've been able to maintain a 5-star Google rating because of the care that we give to our clients, and they really appreciate it.
And I understand that you sometimes go beyond the call of duty, particularly for people who are physically unable to, say, for example, put sheets on the bed.
Yes, definitely. So we have, we work with, like, of course, a lot of different people. So of course we have our professionals, the busy professionals, we have our individuals with children and that type of thing. But we also work with seniors, right? And sometimes individuals with developmental disabilities, and maybe someone who just had surgery, who just needs help, right? So what use is it to give them the clean clothes and they don't have the capability to, basically even make up their bed? So when you ask us to do certain things, even though it may be out of, our purview, we're going to oblige you, right? Because that's what we believe when we think of like the customer experience. And that's the thing that they're going to remember. And it's nothing for us. Something that takes 10 minutes for us to do, is no problem, but it makes an impression in that person's mind for a while. So they really appreciate that. Now, I'm not saying everybody come call us and ask us to do your beds now, but I am saying that, we definitely want to make sure that we're taking care of our customers.
So you must also, because you're in such a intimate services business, have a lot of funny stories. Tell us a couple.
Well, one particular story is that we had a client, and we call it the funny sock story. Yeah, with us, because she had a pair of lucky socks, right? And they went missing. And I tell you, Senator Bradley, we launched a full-blown sock investigation to find these socks. She was like, these are my lucky socks and blah, blah, blah. And so, yes, everything like you hear about with socks, they go missing sometimes, right? But this one, we had to do like an investigation. So it turns out that she called us back and it was like stuck inside her comforter. But the way that we turned this place over and looked and like called everybody and was like, we gotta find these socks, everyone. So we actually, so the next time that we did her laundry, we returned the socks. We put like a little a note on it, and it was like a sock recovery report, letting her know that these socks will always have a special place for us. So she laughs about it, we laugh about it, and now we definitely make sure we check for socks when it comes on big orders. So that is one of like the funniest stories that we've had.
So, I give you my laundry, right?
Yes.
Now, from time to time, I sometimes don't empty all my pockets the way I should, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
So,
Yes.
what are some of the oddest things that customers leave in their pockets?
We get everything. So, of course, you're gonna go from, like, the regular stuff, right? So, there's always gonna be, like, change. It may be a pen. It may be, like, mints or
Yeah,
something like that.
sure.
But we get, like, wedding rings. We get debit
What?
cards. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. You would be surprised how many people well, that's a story for a different day. But anyway, take off their wedding ring and put it in their pocket and just forget. We get car keys. And we're like, how are you going to work? Like, how are you existing if we have your car keys? We get house keys. There's so many different things. And then we get those notes of paper. We're like, oh, okay. But we get a lot of things. So we really, 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 but the thing is that, we're very trustworthy. So of course, everything that we get, the staff, puts it in a little Ziploc bag and we, bring it back. And then of course, if it's like something that we know, like a car key, right? We're going to have to do that. I think the funniest thing that we got was like a remote control. And um, the lady
Remote.
called a remote control. She gave us her stuff and she called us and she was like, you know what? I'm trying to change the channel and I cannot find my remote control. And I was just like, really? Now, something as big as a remote control. So, yes, so she literally was on her couch and I guess she had like her, comforter or, bedspreads around her. And she put it down and she just like bundled everything up and then gave it to us. So then we had to go back because she was like, I need my remote control, baby, because I gotta change my channels. So we had to run back and give her remote control. So I would say the
Well, but
remote
just think
control.
of what kind of company and what kind of service is that, right? I mean, you run back to give a customer their remote control that they
Yes,
mistakenly put in their clothes.
yes, yes,
So,
definitely.
what's the Laundry Basket Institute?
So the Laundry Basket Institute. So now that I've been able to be in the field in the industry and learn a little, some things about it, one of the things that we want to combat is wage sustainability. So we want to make sure that individuals working in the industry are getting the wage that they deserve. And then we also want to make sure that they have room for advancement. So when people think about laundry, they just think about washing and folding. And of course, that's a big deal, but there's also so many other things that that people can do. Like there's customer service, there's tech, there's, marketing, customer support. So there's so many different things. So we make sure that we train individuals so that they can have like those advanced skills so that when they come out of the institute, they can, demand higher pay. Like they can have like management type of employment. So once they graduate, then we employ them, and if we cannot employ them, then we'll actually then outsource them to our partners. So laundromats, dry cleaners, individuals in the hotel industry as well. So that's the Laundry Basket Institute.
Hmm. So, you also do a lot of work free of charge for those in need.
Yeah.
Can you tell us about laundering clothes for kids who are homeless? How did you
Yeah.
get that idea?
Well, because that's a thing, right? And if you've never experienced it, you wouldn't understand. But it's like a lot of kids get bullied because of they may come to school and they may have a smell, right? So we talk a lot, in other arenas about like, of course, food insecurity and kids coming to school hungry. But we also have kids that come to school, with dirty clothes, right? And that's going to lead to bullying. That's going to lead to the absenteeism because they don't want to come to school. Like, who wants to come to school and get bullied over
Sure.
like how you look or how you smell or that type of
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
And we believe when it's and when it comes to homelessness that everyone deserves the dignity and the right to feel and look good and to smell good, right? And so we want to play our part with that. So what we do is that we partner with different schools and we give them that option of like, hey, if you have some parents that, or families that are experiencing homelessness, let us know. We can definitely, do that. We can definitely launder the clothes and make sure the kids come with like clean clothes. And it helps, right? It's like a smile on their face. We actually had, when we went to a shelter, there was a child there and, we were like, delivering the clothes. And the little girl said to me, is this what clean smells like? And
Huh.
it almost broke my heart. It
Oh,
almost broke my heart when she said, "Is this what clean smells like?" When I handed her
wow.
her stuff. So it's those types of things that it's just like you don't think about when it comes to like laundry, and it's something that we just do, and it's just like
Right.
natural. But imagine when you don't have the resources to do that, whether it be financial or just like a washer or dryer.
Yeah,
Imagine.
well, so how does it work? I mean, the students can't afford to wash their clothes.
Right.
So what do? They bring clothes that are dirty, but they're not wearing to
Yeah.
school, and
Mhm.
then what happens?
So what happens is that at every school there is, and I'm gonna probably mess up the name, but let's just say like a school counselor. They have like fancy names for that,
Yeah.
but like there are
On
individuals
this
that are
show, they're called school counselors
oh, okay. Well, school counselors, but that's what
from
we're gonna
now
go
on.
with from now on. And they identify these kids that are dealing with these situations. Obviously, these are the individuals who are, close to the kids and that type of thing, and they'll just let us know. So we have, put out, information to different schools like, hey, this is a service that we offer. So if you have a child that is experiencing this, because it's not everybody, it's not everybody, but if there are like some kids that are, let's help out. And so they'll let us know. And then so everything is like, discreet. They just come, they just drop by the school counselor's office, they bring in their bag of clothes. We don't even know the name of the child. They contact us, we pick up and we bring it back. So we just tag them, with like initials. The school council, of course, knows whose is who, and and that's it, and it's done.
Listen, Hyacinth, I just want to thank you for being here on American Voices, and
Thank you.
thank you for making sure Americans have clean clothes, and especially
Thank you.
children in schools who are homeless. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a tremendous service that you offer, and
Yeah.
also for having what is clearly an irrepressible spirit that brings joy wherever you end up.
Thank you so much, Senator Bradley. I really appreciate that.
I've been speaking with Hyacinth Tucker. She's the owner of The Laundry Basket. For more information, visit us on Facebook. It's American Voices with Senator Bill Bradley. On Instagram, it's Bill Bradley on SiriusXM. Hyacinth, what a great thing you're doing, and
Thank you.
you really got a great infectious personality, I'll tell you that.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
I'm sure everybody who hears this will not only admire what you're doing, but be drawn to you by virtue of your own kind of positive joy.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Keep it up.
Thank you.
And that's the last of our American Voices for today, but you can continue our conversation on Facebook, facebook.com/American Voices with Senator Bill Bradley. And we're also now on Instagram. Hope you'll check us out there too. Follow us. American Voices is produced by Devora Clar. The show was recorded by Mark Aflalo.
American Voices with Senator Bill Bradley is made possible by Ford, part of the American story for 121 years. Built Ford proud.
For SiriusXM, you've been listening to American Voices. I'm your host, Bill Bradley. Thank you for listening to American Voices here on my YouTube channel. For more interviews celebrating the goodness and creativity of the American people, click the subscribe button below.